Rick's Corner. I'm Rick Drasin, and I bring you all the news and stuff I know from bodybuilding from the past and current, and my knowledge from all the years I put into it. And you guys have been a wonderful audience, and I keep coming up with new ideas and new thoughts I'd like to share. One of them is Plan B. Now, your Plan A is to be a bodybuilder. I understand that. I had Plan A as well as the guys back in the golden era. But you got to think of Plan B. What happens when it doesn't work? What happens when you put your hopes into something and all your dreams and you want to make a living from it and it just doesn't happen? You got to have Plan B. If you don't have Plan B as you get older, you end up with nothing. And many have. Now, back in the day of the golden era, people ask me, well, what'd you do for work? You had to have a job. Well, we all did have jobs. I mean, here in LA, you have the studios. You have Universal, you have Warner Brothers, you have Fox, and you have Paramount, you have all the studios. And back in those days, it wasn't too hard to get a job in sound, maybe an electrician, a driver, which drivers make very good money. And you do work long hours, but you work a lot of nights as well, and so you can still get to the gym and do those things. Several people worked as bouncers. There were no trainers really, none to speak of, but they had different jobs. But you got to find your place in life. And everybody wants to be Arnold. Arnold made it big in bodybuilding, he made it big in acting, he made it big in politics. That's one man only that's done that. So not everybody's going to be Arnold. It's just not the way it goes. If you look at most of the bodybuilders today, some get endorsements, some don't. Some make money for a while when they're on top and they make it from the endorsements, and when the endorsements stop, then what? Sometimes they have their own products, they do signatures on things, whatever they can do to make a living. But when all that goes away and you're 30 years old and you're 35 years old or 40 even, what do? You got to have Plan B. And Plan B is stay in school, get an education, find a career, find something that you really enjoy to do as a passion that will bring a living and put food on the table. Because when you don't have those things, you end up with a regular job that you don't want, and you become depressed. And you think, oh my God, now I can't make any money, I can't train, I don't eat like I want to, and your life goes to crap. I've seen it happen over and over and over. And even the kids that I train for wrestling, I mean, they all want to be WWE superstars. And it's not going to happen to 99% of them. It's not going to happen. There's only a handful that make it on top, and to stay on top is hard. There's a lot of politics involved. There's not a lot of money until you're on top, and there's only 3 or 4 guys really making it big. The rest are making a living and working odd jobs. And then they're getting injuries, and they're not being able to work because they can't work. They're injured, and they can't even train. It's the same thing in bodybuilding. You know, you rip muscles, you take a certain amount of drugs, and your muscles get stronger than your tendons, and your tendons snap. You have elbow injuries. We all have bad elbows, bad shoulders, bad knees, and you don't want to do physical labor because it's too painful. So my theory is that you got to have something to fall back on. One day you'll get married, you'll have a family. You want to be able to afford that. You want your girlfriend, your wife to respect you for making a living and having something that you can bring home, and your kids especially to look up to you and know that you're a winner. Not only to have a good body, but have a brain and know how to do something. I'm giving you good advice because back in the 70s, I had a lot of friends I trained with down at Gold's. Many would come out and train, many would go home broke, and they got jobs on farms or wherever they did, and that was the end of their bodybuilding career. The stars that they saw, the glitz, the glamour, the lights in Hollywood, it's only for a few minutes. If you know how to work the system, it works. Fortunately, when you guys ask me, what did you do for a living? I did commercials. I was lucky enough to get chosen to do a lot of national commercials. I wrestled at night, 5-6 nights a week. That brought money in. I was able to collect unemployment in between the commercials because you pay into it, and when you're not working, they pay you back, and that's just how most actors do it. And I had a t-shirt business, starting with the Gold's Gym logo, the World Gym logo. Then I had one in Weider's magazine. I had numerous designs on a full-page ad, and Joe Weider let me do modeling products for him to pay for the ad because the ad was $1,000 a month, maybe even $1,800 a month after a while. But selling my designs on the internet was all mail order. There's no internet. I'm sorry to say that. Selling my ads in the magazine, my t-shirts, my license plate frames, baseball caps, made me a lot of money back in the 70s and 80s. A lot of money came in, which I put away. I invested. I bought mutual funds. I put it into different areas. I bought a house. I made sure that by the time I was 30, 35, by 35 I owned my own home. I had 2 cars, 2 motorcycles, and I had plenty of things that I invested in, things that made me money. And so these are things that you need to think about. You're 20 years old now, you're training, you want to be big and pumped, that's ego, I know that, we all do it, that's fine. But get an education. Treat people with respect, like I said on the camaraderie with Rich Piana. You'll never have enemies if you do, and you'll have people who are willing to help you along the way by treating them fair and be right to them. Don't disrespect them, because going up the ladder, you go back down, you run into the same people you disrespected, and they won't help you. So my thoughts are to you is train hard, eat right, treat yourself with respect, treat your family with respect, treat your friends and coworkers with respect, and try to reach your goals, and you will make it. You will have something later in life. You don't want to end up without anything. I see too many at Venice Beach that I knew way, way back, and they never advanced one iota. I had one friend tell me, he was a wrestler and a bodybuilder, and he was good. He said, if I haven't brought it to the table for myself by the time I'm 40, it's not going to happen. That's the farthest thing from the truth. I started to blossom at 40, 45, 50. Here in the mid to late 60s, I'm doing better than ever because I put my brain to use. And what made me put my brain to use was the discipline that I used in bodybuilding. The same as Arnold. When you're disciplined to get to the gym, to eat right, to live a clean life, and to organize your schedules and your time, you will benefit. And you will have something in the bank, and you will have a family, and you'll have respect. So that's my thing to you. It's brought from the golden era. This is what we did, a lot of us. And many guys are successful today, and there's many who aren't because they didn't follow that advice. So I'm sharing that with you on Rick's Corner. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you take it to heart. And please write back and make comments. And if you have suggestions of other subjects, put them on YouTube. I read these things. I read all your comments. And I'm willing to give you anything you want that brings you in with me, and we can talk about it, and we can have a nice conversation. Okay, thanks for watching Rick's Corner, and until then, I'm having Rich Piana back, guys. We're going to do several episodes together, so stay tuned and I'll bring you more. Thanks for watching.
It's RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.